Gently open your eyes, a beautiful smile on your face. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you all had a good meditation session. Okay, so just to introduce myself, I'm Bindu Bodanapu, and I've been in the corporate world for more than 23 years. I'm a chartered accountant by profession, and my journey into meditation started 5 years ago, I think just before COVID. And my life has turned 360-degree transformation as I embarked into meditation, the breath mindfulness meditation. So when I started meditating, I mean, one of the most important thing for meditation, I think I discovered my true purpose of my life. And this is when I completely transformed from who I was to what I'm right now. So, because of this, I completely left my profession as a chartered accountant, and then I started. There's a lot of curiosity because during meditation, I had many mystical experiences. I not only discovered the true purpose of my life, but also had quite a lot of channeling messages from Mother Earth. So, this is when I started delving more into spiritual sciences. And one most important message that really shook me was Dr. Bruce Lipton, who is a leading scientist in the world who brings science and spirituality together. He talks about Earth planet going into extinction purely because of human behavior. He says because we are powerful co-creators who come to this planet Earth, but we are destroying the planet because we are living in fear, we're living in survival. Every day morning we wake up with fear, we're living in survival, we're living in stress, right? So because of the thought vibration that we are sending out, we are emitting into the universe, this has its own, because as you know, the law of energy, law of thermodynamics says energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed from one to another, right? So now the thought is a vibration, that is energy. And when we are emitting thought vibration of fear and stress, it is actually destroying the planet. And that is why we see many catastrophes happening on this earth planet. Like we had COVID, we had wildfires, we had earthquakes, tsunamis, wars, and whatnot, right? So this is something I feel that is a very profound message that needed to be spread to every person in the world. And we should take the responsibility of sharing this message. And one way to calm our minds is only through meditation, right? And I've also did a quick interview with Dr. Bruce Lipton asking how can we create a heaven on earth. And he says the one way to create a heaven on earth is to stop thinking, silencing our mind, being in the present moment. So what does that mean, being in the present moment? Being in the present moment, we being mindful. We all are meditating now, right? We are meditating for half an hour, we meditate for 1 hour, 2 hours. But then what about the rest of the time when we are awake? We are constantly thinking. We emit 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and most of the thoughts are repetitive, self sabotaging, and self limiting thoughts. So, because of this, we have the same thoughts, same feelings, same emotions, which gives rise to the same experiences. The same experiences gives rise to the same feeling, which becomes a personality, and the personality becomes a personal reality. So, one way to change our life is to stop thinking, being in the present moment, right? So, this is how I've learned from many masters. I've been extremely fortunate to be mentored by many spiritual scientists, and I'm a very passionate about metaphysics. I'm an active researcher on metaphysics. So, today, thank you for this opportunity. And this is a little bit about myself. And I think today I felt like talking very much more about manifestation and how manifestation can be done by balancing our energies, right? So what is a manifestation and what are these energies that I'm talking about? Manifestation, as you all know, manifestation is a way to bring your thoughts, feelings into reality, right? So manifestation is a process of turning your thoughts, desires, or intentions into reality. It's not about visual thinking or magic tricks, but it's all about energetic alignment with conscious creation. Like Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about, you don't get what you want, but you attract who you are, right? So many people want to manifest many things, but sometimes it doesn't necessarily become true, or we can't really manifest it because of the reason, because we are not in alignment. So today I want to talk about two energies that exist in each and every one of us. That is the divine feminine and the divine masculine energies. And why is this more important than ever before? I did a talk lately about, divine feminine leadership in one of the global forums. And why is it more important now than ever before? Is because there is an imbalance in the energies right now on this planet Earth. There's more of the masculine energy than the feminine energy. So now how can we use these energies? Let's understand these energies. What is this divine feminine? What is this divine masculine? What are the traits of this divine feminine and masculine? And how can we bring it to balance to co-create, to manifest the life that we desire? So, divine feminine and divine masculine exist in each and every one of us. It's not according to the gender, but it exists in each and every one of us. So now divine feminine is the energy that is basically more of the feminine qualities. So the feminine is the energetic foundation. So the feminine energy is all about balance. It's all about nurturing. If you see Mother Earth is known for its feminine energy, right? So because of that, because of the imbalance of the masculine and the feminine energy, the world is going into so much of chaotic. Because of this imbalance, most people have been living in overextended masculine energy, thinking, performing, and acting, whereas the feminine energy is more about feeling, receiving, being, and sensing. So let's look at the traits. What are the traits of feminine energy? Feminine energy is known for its intuition. How many of us use intuition over logic? I've been in the corporate world for 23 years, being a chartered accountant. I use logic all the time. You see, corporate world is more about logic, but to balance this, we need intuition. Feminine energy is the flow, being in the flow, right? We always want to predict the life. We want everything to go as per the logic and the structure, but life doesn't go that way. That is why they say be in the flow, right? The feminine energy is about the flow. Feminine energy is all about receiving, nurturing, emotions, and being present. Whereas masculine energy is all about giving, protection, strategy, logic, and process. So, the key qualities of divine feminine energy is nurturing. So, taking care of ourselves and others, offering support to other people, and giving comfort. Using our intuition, trusting our own inner guidance and gut feeling. It is the inner GPS, right? And creativity, the power to birth new ideas. We always predict life. We want life to go in such a way. This is why we need to tap into the unknown. If we want to achieve something, we set an intention out into the universe that this needs to happen in a certain way. This is the way it needs to be manifested. But again, this is where we fail because we're not tapping into the unknown. We're already giving a command to the universe, this is the way it needs to happen. But manifestation in its own reality is when we can tap into the unknown. Being present, we can tap into the unknown, right? And the divine feminine quality is compassion, deep empathy, and kindness towards oneself and also to others, right? So these are the traits of the divine feminine and the divine masculine energies. So how can we balance these energies? Now you see each and every, let's introspect. How do we do things every day? When we speak to anyone, they're always in constant stress because they say, I couldn't get this done, I haven't done this, or this didn't happen. They talk about so much of the things that they predict that should happen. So this is where there is more of the masculine energy, even in the females, right? Over masculine energy leads to burnout. It leads to disconnection with a true self, and it leads to control over masculine. This is why in the corporate space there is more of a need of the feminine energy, right? And also, if we have more of a feminine qualities, it also can lead to collapse, it can lead to indecision, it can also lead to overgiving. And this is where women need to tap into self love, right? Because women are givers, they're always giving and giving. They don't fill their own cup before they can pour into others, right? This is where self love is the need of the hour. So the goal here is not to choose which one, but to remember both and also to balance. So, how can we actually tap into these divine feminine and masculine energies, and how can we actually bring that into balance? Right? So, now, first important thing is slowing down. Feminine energy doesn't access by doing. You know the difference between knowing and doing and being, right? So normally we say we are human beings. What does that mean? Beings means just to be. That is what it is, being. So now what happens? We're not actually being. We are doing and doing and doing. This is where we lose a lot of energy. And that is why it's important to be in the state of doing, right? So just like the universe has the both the energies needs to be balanced, the yin and the yang, Shiva and the Shakti. If you're not balancing those two energies, we are draining out ourselves. So what does that being means? The feminine energy. Being is about being present with awareness and inner experience. It's the state of allowing, feeling, and simply existing without pressure to perform. So most of the time we want to perform, we want to be the best, we want to show that we are always into competition, right? Dr. Bruce Lipton says you cannot go into competition. When you go into competition, there is always a repercussion of that. That is when there is always an imbalance. Every human body has, it's a holographic nature of the universe. There is even the cells. When the cells, and so we have 50 to 60 trillion cells in the body. If the cells go into competition, that is when we have autoimmune diseases. This is where we need to understand the balancing of the energies. So examples of being, what does that being means? Staying in stillness or meditation, feeling gratitude, letting inspiration arise, right? Resting without guilt, very important. We tend to do so many things every day without even resting, but resting is extremely important. And also enjoying the present moment, right? We when we are doing something, are we enjoying? When we are at work, we think about home. When we are at home, we think about work. When we are on holiday, we think about office, right? Can you see how our mind is going everywhere? But enjoying, being in the present moment and enjoying is very important. Being is important when you need to connect with yourself. You are creating from your intuition, you're receiving or recharging. So, this is the difference between doing and being. So, doing is all about masculine energy, being is about the feminine energy. Doing, what do you do? To do list, sending emails, going to the gym, going for a walk. You have a structured to do list. Doing is important only when you want to move forward, but if there is an imbalance, manifestation does not happen, right? So how can we put these energies to manifest? Say for example, if you want to manifest something, say if you want to co-create with the universe, the balancing of these energies is very important. Divine feminine energy is the magnet. The feminine energy is the vision, your emotion, your intuition. Say for example, you set a goal, or you want to manifest a new house, right? So you want to manifest a new house, you have a vision of buying a new house, right? So here the role of the feminine energy is the feeling of what you desire. and also to trust your intuition. You attract, you know that we attract through vibration. The secrets of the universe is energy, frequency, and vibration. Whenever we are vibrating at a very low scale in terms of guilt, shame, we are attracting events into the life of the same nature. If you want to manifest something, you got to be a vibrational match of the desire that you want. So this is where the feminine energy comes into picture. Attract through vibration. So that means feeling as if the wish is already fulfilled, right? So this is the feeling is a secret is a amazing book by Neville Goddard. He's a great metaphysics teacher who lived in 1920s and 30s, and I'm an ardent reader of Neville's teachings. And if you want to know more about it, I recommend you read those books. Feeling is the secret. Without the feeling, the manifestation will never happen. And the next important thing is receive with openness. That is a feminine quality. So now you want to manifest a new house, for example, but then you are already using your logic that this is the only house that you wanted. But universe works in synchronicities. Universe Synchronicities are those unexpected events that come into the life. Synchronicities are the bridge between yourself and the desire. You are here, your desire is here. The bridge is the synchronicities. So be open to receive. This is very important. It's a divine feminine quality. Let go and surrender. So now we have a dream, we have a vision of what we want. Now, what many people say that manifestation doesn't work. Why? Because they're not letting go and they're not surrendering to the process. Say, for example, if you sow a seed into the ground and then you think you sow the seed because it will grow into a plant, a shoot at some point. What if you're digging it out in the ground, looking at it, is it growing or not? Right? You wouldn't do that because you got to let go and surrender. It can take a 1 day, it can take a week, it can take months, it could take 2 months. It really doesn't matter. But when you have trust and you let go, things will happen. So feminine energy, without her the manifestation will not work. Feeling is a feminine quality. And then what is a divine masculine energy? The masculine energy is the activator. So focus, strategy, goal setting, execution is part of the manifestation process as well. So you need to define your goal. What do you need? What is the strategy? How are you going to get a deposit for your house? For example, taking aligned action. These are some of the masculine qualities, but manifestation can only be complete when both the feminine and the masculine energy work in balance, right? So, this is something very important to remember. Manifestation can only happen with the balanced energies of both masculine and feminine. So, feminine is I feel what I want, masculine is you acting upon, right? Feminine is imagination, right? Imagination creates reality. That's the law of the universe. Again, it's a beautiful book by Neville Goddard, Awakened Imagination. Imagination is God's workshop. Everything that has been imagined is now created in the physical plane, like the phone, the laptop, anything is that you can see is first has happened in the imagination. Without imagination, it doesn't manifest into the physical reality, right? And then just allowing it to happen. So this is again a feminine quality. But masculine energy says, I want to protect. But feminine says, allow, just allow it to happen. Be in the flow. Let whatever happen, just observe. It will happen, but just observe what's happening, right? Feminine energy is attraction. You attract who you are. So what is that attraction? What is that who you are means is the secret of the feeling. What are you feeling inside, right? Masculine energy is, okay, I want this, but feminine is attraction. I rest and receive. Rest and receive are some of the feminine qualities, whereas focus and attention is masculine. So we need to integrate both, we need to balance both. This is only when the manifestation can take place, right? So without complete both of them in balance, it will not happen. So this is a bit of, masculine and feminine energies. I hope you understood what I'm talking about, and just how do you tap into this feminine energy? Most importantly, is grounding. Feminine energy is more of grounding, connecting with nature, right? And the most important thing is working on your intuition. We always work on logic, but magic can only happen when you lose logic. This is what I personally believe in, because in my own experience, I felt when I had all these mystical experiences, my logic mind was saying, what am I doing leaving my job? But my heart said surrender. So I was working on my logic, on my intuition. Logic is masculine, intuition is feminine. You need both. You need both. How do you cultivate this intuition? Is journaling, your gut feeling, right? And then you could there's intuition that can work in many ways, but just be open to your intuition. Listen to your inner voice. That's your inner GPS. Even Steve Jobs says, follow your heart. So following your heart is all about intuition, because the heart knows its way. And according to Heart Math Institute, I'm a licensed coach for Heart Math Institute. Heart Math Institute says heart is 5,000 times more powerful than the brain. With logic mind, you can think, but with heart, you can actually attract, because a brain sends a signal out. It's the feeling that draws the event into our life. So this is why, understanding your heart, being in the state of heart coherence is really important. And then most importantly, create a space, always be open to receive. Many people says, I want this, that, but they are not actually open to receive. So saying affirmations like I'm open to receive are the great ways to bring synchronicities into the life, right? So these are some of the ways where you can tap into the divine feminine energies. We are more of a masculine energy, because that's the way we have been conditioned, we've been programmed to have the more masculine way. It's because of the competition, because of the way the world is going right now. We are working on logic, but if we can balance the feminine, the divine feminine inside of us, it's something that we can truly, truly create miracles. And one other way to tap into this feminine energy is again connecting with the moon cycles, full moon, new moon. All these are feminine energies. So, connecting with nature, connecting with full moon, gratitude is again feminine, because it's coming from the heart, right? These are some of the ways you can tap into, bring the balance between both feminine and masculine energies. Probably I'll stop here for now, but if there's any questions or clarity needed, I'm happy to take some questions. Yeah, hi,
Yes,
Maitri.
Maithili madam. You can unmute yourself.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, Bindu Master.
Yeah,
Uh, it's a wonderful speech you've given, and you've clearly explained so many things, masculine and feminine energy, and how to manifest, and being, the difference between being and doing. And so, time we're not being. And the other thing you mentioned, I just wanted to say my understanding. You mentioned the receiving mode.
mhm.
Basically, the way I understand it is receiving mode means like you have an open mind, have your heart open, and just um, say to the universe what you want rather than concentrating on how it's going to happen or anything like that. And just be prepared to accept whatever the universe gives you. Is that what you mean by being in the receiving mode?
Yeah. So receiving, in the sense, normally they say that, accepting a compliment. Say somebody gives you
Oh,
a compliment, and, you just brush
okay.
it off, right? Accepting
Okay.
compliment without deflecting. Again, let
Mhm.
help other people, let others help you, because we tend to do things by logic, and we feel that we need to do everything. But if somebody is
Mm.
offering you help, allow yourself to take it.
Allow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Say yes to love, joy, beauty, even when it's not uncomfortable, right? Sometimes, you just want to admire the beauty of nature. Even though if you're not comfortable, even though you don't have, just go out for a walk, right? Receiving is
Mm-hmm.
not a weakness, it's a superpower that the world has forgotten. That is why Dr.
Okay.
Bruce Lipton says, collaboration over competition, collaborate.
Yeah,
Success
yeah,
can never be done alone. Always
yeah.
remember,
Um,
right?
yeah.
So we think that
Okay.
with a logic mind, because that's the way we've been trained, unfortunately. So feminine
Mm-hmm.
energy, we need to be feminines are more givers. We give, give, give,
Yeah.
and I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure you can resonate with what I'm saying, right? We do
Yeah.
so many things at home, and we feel obliged to do so many things. But what about receiving? Are you ready
Mm-hmm.
to receive? Be open to receive.
Okay. Okay. And just one thing, when you say receiving, does that extend to like when, we often feel that when somebody gives you a present, you feel like, oh no, you
Mhm.
shouldn't have, and this, that. So in other words, what you're saying is you should say, yes, they're giving me a present, and I'm going to have to happily accept it,
Yeah, why not?
whether I like it or not.
Possibly. I
Yeah,
mean, if
right?
you don't like
Okay.
it, probably that's a different
That's okay.
question.
That's
But,
okay. But
it's,
accept it. Yeah. Okay. We feel uncomfortable most of the time to accept. We feel like, oh no, they've given us this, and you feel obliged, and you feel like, oh my God, how am I going to repay, and that kind of thing. So you shouldn't feel like that, isn't it? You should
yeah,
feel that they're giving us a present, so we deserve it. That's why.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that's why universe has given it to us.
Yes.
So because most of the time we immediately think, oh, you've done so much. How am I going to repay? Kind of thing. Is that
Yeah.
the bad idea? That's the bad thing to do, is it?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah. Be
Okay.
open to receive.
All right. Okay. Okay. And
Yeah.
just one more thing. I'm sorry, I don't want to take too much time.
That's
Just
okay.
want to clarify. You mentioned, how does one know? Like, we all have masculine and feminine energy. How can we recognize within us whether we have more masculine or more feminine energy? Is that possibility? Is that from the action? If you are more logical minded, that means you're
Yeah.
more male energy.
Yeah, absolutely. If somebody is a corporate
Mm.
employee, they're drive by
Mm.
logic, they have strategies to do things, and
Oh,
they
okay.
don't have time for meditation, they don't have time for
Mm.
slowing down, they can't, and they
Okay.
can't
Okay.
sit still, right?
Mm.
Feminine is all about, taking time, resetting yourself, resting.
And
Resting is a feminine
accepting,
energy.
and
Yeah.
patience and accepting as well.
Patience, accepting, yeah,
Hello? Sorry.
absolutely. Yeah.
Um,
All these are feminine.
I don't know
Slow
what
down
happened. Can
and
you
be
hear me?
present. Yeah. Sorry, did I miss your question?
Sorry. I lost the volume for a minute. Okay, so as I understand, so patience and being in the present moment, things, because most of the time in the society now, people only consider one to be successful if you're very logical minded, if you're planning things and you're do go 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 kind of
Mhm.
thing, rather than
Mhm.
if something's kind of more being, oh, I'm going to sit and relax, I'm going to take it chill. When
Yeah,
somebody takes a chill attitude, you often perceive them to be all lazy or something like that. So it's all been
true.
wrong, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
where we
Okay.
need to
Yeah.
become the
I think I've
change makers. Yeah.
okay. I
So
understand it
feminine is
clearly.
all
Thank you.
about
Thank you very
practicing
much.
intentional pauses during your day. Eat, walk, breathe
Yeah.
slowly, fully in the moment, right? Eating your lunch
Mm,
with
mm,
mindfulness. Replacing one most important thing for
mm,
corporate employees is, multitasking versus, being present. We are so
mm,
much used to doing multitasking, but that's not the way it is. Just mindfulness, doing one job at
mm.
a time, extremely important. The
Yeah.
feminine energy never rushes, you
Okay.
know. This is why it's very important.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for clarifying. I really appreciate this. Sorry I've
most
taken too much
welcome.
time. Thank you.
Most welcome. No, that's fine. Anyone has any more questions?
Yeah, I like the fact that you mentioned yin and yang, right and left, and Shiva and Shakti.
Mm-hmm.
We have got a wonderful example of Ardhanarishwar, Lord
Yes.
Shiva, half woman, and You know, it's such a beautiful picture. You look at it and realize we got both,
Yeah.
but people don't want to acknowledge that. We have got male and female, and you can see it within our work situation. There are times when we are very logical, when we need to be, because I've been a bookkeeper and then also went into community work, and I can see my role changing.
Mm.
The way I communicated with people as well. So we need to acknowledge that and be in tune. One of the things that Deepak Chopra talks about is that we are no longer in the rhythm with the universe.
Yes.
We need to be in rhythm, in harmony. And then once that harmony is established, then you'll have less illnesses and less mental stress within yourself. So what you talked about, I really liked it, and you expressed it so beautifully. Thank you so much. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Induji. Thank you. Anyone else has any questions?
Hi, Bindu.
Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for a really refreshing session. I resonate with so much of that, because we live in the world like the corporate world has puts us in a different mindset. Often we are kind of bombarded with the beliefs of how things should be and what we may have perceived through our cultural roles, through our role play, basically. But I do, I particularly like, and I've worked with the symbol of the scales, which is really a balance, and I kind of see myself as a self-made woman. And I think I can say that more because I've learned to harness the balance. And it really is such a joy because initially probably more feminine, then battling with the masculine, thinking I need to because of the competition and facing. And I was in a corporate world with amongst a lot of, I think I'd say majority of them were men. And they're probably, a small proportion of women, and I could see their battles and so on, and kind of really struggling, if I can put it that way. But until I began to understand my own strengths, so the softer and the gentler, the nourishing, the richer part of the feminine qualities were coming through, even in that role play. And not getting the ego come in the way, which probably could be the masculine. I'm not saying females don't have the ego, but just harnessing the two, and feeling power even within the role play and balancing the act. So again, holding that respect in that presence of who you are rather than and I found that the word balance and the scales really held that for me. Often I used to hold that image and work with that. So a lot of the things that you share really kind of resonates in a practical way because sometimes I was quite a hearty person. I cried easily.
Madam, we lost your audio.
Yeah.
Madam, are you able to hear us?
Daksham, I think we lost you. Lost your audio.
I think she's not able to hear.
Yeah. I can't hear you. Sorry, not able to hear you, Daksha, madam. Sorry, I think she is asking question. Unfortunately, I'm not able to hear. Is it the same with everyone?
Yes. We are not.
Yes, we can't hear her.
Yeah, we can't hear her. No, we can't. Nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah. She's trying.
Madam, are you able to hear us now? Okay, I think she had some issues.
Yeah.
That should be fine. Masters, anyone else has any clarifications, questions to Master? Okay, seems no one. Daksha madam, are you back? Are you able to hear us? Fine, I think she didn't connect yet. Yeah, thank you very much, madam, for your wonderful sharing today and wonderful topic, balancing both our divine masculine, divine feminine qualities and how it helps us, how it shapes our lives and all. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you. I think somebody has raised their hand. Netra.
Hello, madam.
Hello,
Thank you
hi.
for the wonderful session. The thing is, you said at the beginning, after meditation, you came into meditation, you have had 360 degrees of transformation. Is there any chance can you give maybe one or two examples of like how it has helped you throughout? So I'm eager to listen to it. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So when I say 360 transformation, I think it's more about knowing who you truly are and understanding the power that lies within you. So most generally what happens is where we tend to live for other people, right? We're always giving away our power to other people. We're living for other people by wearing a mask. We want to fit in, right? Human beings are social animals. We try to fit into the crowd. But when we are trying to fit into the crowd that don't resonate with us, we are actually losing our energy ourselves. So with meditation, what the very first transformation I would say is loving yourself. So loving yourself unconditionally without any expectation from other people, right? So this is the first transformation. So what I did, I stopped going into parties or trying to fit into the people who I don't resonate with. I mean, once you raise your vibration with all this knowledge through meditation, with spiritual sciences, you tend to vibrate higher and you see that the people who you surround with are no longer a vibrational match to who you are, right? So this is the very first transformation I had, loving yourself. And again, the most important thing is accepting everyone as they are. Everyone, even in our families, we all have multiple births and we all are at a different soul level. Even in families, some can be a young soul, some can be a mature soul, right? So accepting everyone as they are, because not everybody in our own family would meditate. And when if you're meditating, and even now I find people, I find as an anomaly to other people. So this is quite natural. So this is important that, because of other people, you don't have to really fit into the crowd, but rather, know your strengths, understand who you are, starting to accept other people just the way they are. So that is the most important transformation. When you accept, you don't react to situations, you just respond to situations, right? When you react, you're reacting from the ego standpoint. When you respond from just to put your a point forward to other people, right? This will eradicate a lot of miscommunications in the family. So these are some of the major shifts that happened when I got into meditation. Did I answer your question?
Oh, yes. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, Maithili.
Thank you for allowing me to speak again. You mentioned about the intuition. Where I understand is being in the heart space more than being in the brain or mind. Being in the heart is when you are allowing yourself to have intuition, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Being
So
open,
intuition,
rather than using the logic mind.
yeah, not
Yeah.
using the logic mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's correct. So intuition is basically your inner knowing, that is,
Yes.
yeah, that is a bit, you can call it a gut feeling, you can call it a inner voice, you can call it an instinct, or, a a soul whisper, or your higher self. Yeah, it is a knowing behind the knowing, right? So I try to understand what is this intuition, where is this coming from, right? It can actually come from your heart, it can come from your gut, it can come from your brain, it can also come from your subconscious mind that is inside of you. And also beyond you, intuitions can also come from your energy field. It can also come from your higher self. It can come from nature. It can also come from your ancestor or your spirit guides or angels, we call it. So it can come from anywhere, right? So if it is come, yeah. Does that make sense? You want me to explain more?
Okay.
Yeah. So, for example, gut intuition. So it comes. So, for example, if you're walking on a road and then for suddenly you sense that it is not a safe time at that time when you're crossing the road, right? Even though you see there's no obvious threat at that point in time, but your gut is telling you something and you immediately cross that road. Okay. And the next day you hear that there was some accident happened or there's some mishap happened at the same spot where you had an intuition to cross that road. So this is a kind of intuition. This is one of the kind of intuition. And the second intuition is a heart intuition. It comes from the heart. Say, for example, you are having a perfect job, you're having great money, you're having great status and location, but then your heart doesn't feel right about the job that you're doing, right? So whenever you think about the job, you feel low. This is when your heart is telling you that you're not aligned to your deeper truths or your values. Right? This is coming from your heart. And sometimes it can even come from your subconscious, sometimes in the form of dreams. For example, think about, you might suddenly in your dream, you might, someone you haven't thought about for years, you might had a dream, right? And the next day, the same person might call you up, or somebody talks about the same person. So where is this coming from? This is coming from your subconscious mind. And sometimes you feel energetic intuition. Energetic intuition is when it's the feeling of the field. We are surrounded by this field of energy. So for example, if you go to a party or a meeting or whatever, even though everyone are just normal, but you can sense the feeling of the of that energy. And so you do feel a little bit not aligned, and later you might find there was all some kind of tension or conflict that just happened before you entered that room. So can you see, you could even pick up the energy vibes. This is called the energetic intuition, right? And again, sometimes nature can give you answers, or your higher self, sometimes angelic numbers, everything has its own, but these are all the kind of intuition, right? When if you're confused about something and you're not clear about what to do and you're confused, so you can go out into the nature, maybe sit under a tree, and then or an ocean, without trying, sometimes you have a clarity, suddenly the answer comes to you. So where is this coming from? This is called nature based intuition, right? Intuition can come to you. And sometimes you suddenly feel that you need to leave that job, or you need to leave that particular place, or you wanted to change your career path completely. You can't explain to anyone, but your soul knows that that's not what you're aligned to. So this got actually, this is the, then it's, it's the time now, it's the time I need to move on, right? So who is telling you this? This is your higher self, or the soul intuition. So this wouldn't even cause you panic, but you have peace with direction, right? This is your higher self guiding you towards alignment. So these are some of the ways you get intuition tapped into.
So sorry. What tends to happen sometimes is when we get these things, people don't trust their intuition, so then the intuition stop coming. So are we supposed to trust that intuition and follow that, and that by doing it that way, then the intuition will be more and more correct or to our purpose of life? Because most of the time, like, you know, if you feel like, oh, I'm not happy with the job or something, we force ourselves and we say, oh, no, this is just a mood that we're in. And then we force ourselves. In other words, we are not listening to the intuition. So if you don't listen to it, would the intuition stop coming?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So for the first thing
You
is,
need to act on it then. You need to act on your intuition.
yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because many people do get instincts, you know, they do have intuitions to do something better, but they wouldn't take action because out of fear, right? And then
Okay.
after 60, 70 years, we feel that when you look back and see,
We lost the time, we lost all the opportunities. Okay.
that's how
Okay.
it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the society, most, you know, people are generally suppressed, isn't it? They keep saying, "Oh, no, don't do that." If somebody wants to do a particular career, the parents say, "No, you won't make any money out of that. Do something else." And so then they dampen the spirit, and they dampen the intuition.
Absolutely.
But that's the wrong thing
Absolutely.
to do. Okay, thank you very much for all the clarification. I really appreciate, and thanks for explaining all the various types of intuition. I've never come across that before. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
One of the things that happened in Twin Towers, and the story is so wonderful, that a father who never ever used to take a day off, and on the day the Twin Tower went, you know, and all those people died, more than 3,000 people. That day, his child, 3-year daughter, was ill. And she started to cry, and she said, don't want to go to the nursery. The mother had an appointment, and he thought, I never take time off. And today, for the first time, his heart went out, and he decided to stay at home. And then later on, he realized that all those people died in Twin Towers where he worked. So he listened to his intuition, but something inside must have moved him enough for him not to go. And he made the right decision. And he said, the reason I am alive is something within me told me not to go. Not only my daughter was not well, but the fact that something inside said, shouldn't go today. So that's when your instinct gives you direction. And it's same, the train story. There are so many stories like that. But one of the things my teacher told me, how to develop your intuition, is to do introspection every night before you go to sleep. What happened today? Did I listen to my inner heart? Did I listen to my own inner voice? Because that's the one we need to listen to. We have got a guru inside us, but sometimes we don't listen. Thank you so much. You've been wonderful. Thank you. Really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you, Ruchi. Thank you. Anyone else has any questions?
I think no one else.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much, madam, for your wonderful clarifications for all the questions. Patiently explained everything. So thank you very much.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much. Hope to see you again some other time. Thank you, Masters, for staying here and joining today. And have a lovely good night.
Daksha, madam, do you want to convey anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, my apologies for the sound earlier. I'm not sure what happened, but it was very accurate. And I really appreciate that. Particularly, my takeaway is, lots takeaway. It ignited a lot of joy in some way, that the world continues. But I particularly like it when you said the magic can happen when I drop the logic.
Yes. I truly live by that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Beautiful. Really appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
Most welcome.
Okay. Thank you all, masters. Thank you all for joining all these sessions. And thank you very much, Bindu madam, for your wonderful sharing and session today.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
And Master Chris, I just want to add that thank you so much for encouraging us to speak, but sometimes it's also such a joy in listening.
Thank you very much. Yeah, only when we
but I understand.
Yeah.
And I understand that sometimes until you speak, some clarity doesn't come through, and it might just be a belief system that you might have held. So I appreciate you speaking to the soul.
Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you all, masters, for joining these sessions. Yeah, it's time for us to close this session. Yeah, before closing the session, one last thing is that you all aware, right? So we're going to celebrate Buddha Purnima this May on 10th and 11th in Birmingham. So please do register yourself, your family and friends. Please try to attend, if possible, both the days. We'll be having great meditation sessions and experience sharing from various masters. Yeah, it's already late. Thank you all once again, and happy night, all of you. We'll connect tomorrow.